Welcome to part 11. We will look at some more questions today on Associate Cloud Engineer for GCP certification. So please subscribe. There are 1,000 plus videos on this channel. Okay, 1,000 plus videos on AWS, Azure, GCP. So this is the first question. You are a project owner of a GCP project and you want to delegate control to colleagues to manage buckets and files in cloud storage. So you have such buckets. Okay, you have such buckets and each buckets have some files. So you want to give someone that control in your team. Suppose you are the team lead. So couple of team members you want to give this control, and you should follow best practices from Google. You should follow best practices. Okay. So the question is which IAM roles you should grant to your colleagues. Which roles you will grant. So in order to understand which roles should we grant, we want to understand what those colleagues will do. What will they do in the bucket? They will manage buckets and files. These two activities they will do. Okay. So this is the detailed requirement. See, manage means what? Manage means what? Administrator. Okay. Manage means administrator. So options B and C both are having admin role. Which one we should give? B, storage admin. This will give full control to cloud storage. Full control means you can manage objects, you can manage buckets. You have to manage both, right? In this question, you have to manage buckets, you have to manage files. Files are objects. This is an object store. So this is correct because it provides necessary permissions to do both. The problem with C is it is telling we will give storage object admin. Storage object. That means you are giving full control over objects. But what about permission to manage buckets? So you are addressing only one requirement. Your mom told you to go downstairs and bring vegetables and fruits. You went and only bought vegetables. Who will bring the fruits? You are not bringing fruits. You only bought vegetables. This is similar to that. You have only done half of what was required. So you have not filled the requirement of bringing the fruit. That is granting bucket management permissions. You have not done it. So this is wrong. Okay, let me also explain other options. A, they are telling we will give project editor access. Project editor is a very broad access. It is just like people wanted to go to reception to meet you in Infosys office, but you granted them access, your security team granted them access to all floors, broader access. So this is overly broad permission. You should always use principle of least privilege. That is something which this option does not use. See, a Swiggy delivery boy came to deliver food. So you are not there. You told the security boss, ask him to keep the package outside my flat. Will you tell the will you give the security guy access to keys and up to the keys of your bedroom also? No, that is not required. You have to give what is least privilege, what is supposed to happen. D says we will give storage object creator permission. So they can create objects. First, you are not telling about buckets. You have not addressed that. So you have not granted anything for managing buckets. That is first thing. And second is you have not given enough permission to manage the objects also. They can only create objects. What about editing objects, deleting objects, delete object? Forget editing. What about deleting objects? You have not given that permission. So this is insufficient permission. It's like you have a staff, cooking staff, and a staff to clean your house and etc. You marry now, not the staff. You marry a girl, okay, and that girl or whatever your wife, she is not even willing to give instructions to the staff like what should be cooked today, what should be the menu. So it's like, you know, insufficient work, insufficient permissions is that way. If you want to understand more about storage admin role, read this. We have given clearly what it means. See, in real world, we follow a more strict permission. So if you want to further restrict permission, we have added this para also. You can read this. So you can create a custom IAM role based on, see, there are two colleagues you are giving access. One colleague might need some other access, the other colleague might some other access. Slight deviation might happen. So you can create custom IAM roles also. In projects, we try to do that also. Real life experience, I'm saying. So storage admin, this is something, this is the role that you need. So this is the next question now. Here you have an object in cloud storage bucket. So this is your bucket. Inside this you have suppose of one file and you want to share with external company. Suppose you work for Bank of America, you want to share this with Infosys people because they are supporting your application. You want to share with them suppose. Now this object contains sensitive data. You understand the complexity. You are giving this access to an external organization, but it has sensitive data. Now you might say, boss, what does sensitive data mean? Uh, does it say an employee is stupid, low performer? That is insensitive comment. It's not sensitive. It is insensitive comment. In the office, if somebody tells someone stupid, that is insensitive comment. In the office, what you have to tell if you don't like someone, you have to sugarcoat it. You could have done more. You are doing great, but you have scope to improve on these and these elements. This is the constructive way of telling it. So the object contains sensitive data like your credit card number or maybe uh, a customer number detail. If you sell this customer data to someone, that can happen and that is not good. So you want access to the content to be removed after 4 hours. You just want to give temporary access for 4 hours so that they only get this access to get their work done. That's all. Now the problem is the external company does not have a Google account to which you can grant specific user-based privileges. So you want the most secure method with fewer steps. See, whenever such things happen, you should give some URL. You know, in all cloud, AWS also you will get similar question. Azure also you will get similar question. Signed URL is the answer. Anyone from external organization, give them signed URL. It has a 4 hour expiration you can set. You can set any expiration, but in this question, we want to set 4 hour expiration. You set that. So this will give temporary access and it is secured. It's a direct and efficient method. It is very secure. But if you use option B, they are saying set object access to public. Yeah, boss. It's a very good way of managing sensitive data. Make it public. Like nowadays, government does both in America and India. All lot of sensitive conversation they make it public. Either some ex official comes on podcast and they share all of those data. Okay, and in the name of hey, you know what? We are educating people, man, through podcast. Yes, man. Now podcast can educate people. Technical journals, thesis, the white papers, they are no longer valid. Now podcast is there to educate people. Okay. There are certain things we don't even want to know. There is no need to know. They are confidential stuff. So in podcast they come and just blabber about it. So this one, it's a security risk, and this guy is using object lifecycle management. That means if lifecycle means it is in a hot zone, suppose after say 90 days it moves to another zone, which is a colder zone. So you will wait for 90 days. In those 90 days, that external organization will have access to your sensitive data. And not only that, external organization, anybody can access because you have made it public now. So this is the most stupid option. Okay, it's like you have opened your pants and you are bent in the middle of the street for people to come and ride. So option C, option C, they are telling configure the storage bucket as a static website and furnish the objects URL. Delete the object storage after 4 hours. See, the problem is if you make it static bucket or static website, the object is now publicly accessible. Even though directly option is not telling you it becomes publicly accessible, static website, you should know conceptually that it will expose it to public. It is a security risk. Second, you are telling I will manually delete. See, manual deletion is risky. What if after 4 hours your administrator went for a coffee break? There he sees a girl, he plans to talk to her, and 1 hour passes. Now that's 4 hour becomes 5 hours. That guy comes, he starts working on something else, forgets about it. Now it becomes 8 hours. So it is very unreliable. Automate this stuff. Never wait for manual deletion. This is so wrong. Once we went for a party, so I paid the bill of approximately 12 or 14,000 rupees, and we told we will split it. Then after a day, people told, okay, share the expenses. I told, okay, I will share. I kept the bill. I didn't even scan it. I kept the bill in my bank itself. So after a week, I forgot. Luckily, I got the bill in the same browser. But if would have thrown that bill, because I'm waiting for my manual memory to take to help with this things. And human beings will always make mistakes. Their memory is always here and there. Now, option D is telling create a new cloud storage bucket. Okay, so they have content on few buckets. Now they will create new buckets for external company, and they will copy the objects to that bucket, and then they will delete that bucket after 4 hours. See, this is an unnecessary step, copying. This is an extra step. So then you delete the entire bucket, overkill. It is less efficient than signed URL. Signed URL is the best option. This option adds unnecessary complexity and steps. Will it work? It can work. It can work, but it is very complex to maintain such systems. See, suppose your object store, it has very large files. So the copying itself takes one day. So now you are telling your vendor, boss, wait for a day. I'm copying it for you. It is too much of admin activity. Okay, too much of admin activity. See, one thumb rule you should always remember in a project, the number of admins should be way too less compared to developers. That is, you should always remember that. Now, I have given you explanation about signed URLs. Read this. This is the best way to give temporary access. You can set expiration time. Automatically, it will delete after that expiration happens. This is most efficient and straightforward method. If you are wife tells you to bring vegetables. See, nowadays, Instamart and Blinkit, so many things are there. But suppose if you are still following traditional paths of getting vegetables, so she asks you to bring some vegetables in 15 minutes. Don't go out and linger around with your friends, smoke 2, 3 cigarettes outside, and then come after 1 hour. Okay, that is not the straightforward and efficient method. Go for a straightforward and efficient method. Go out, go to the shop, bring vegetables, come back in 15 minutes so that your wife is waiting for those vegetables. So this is the correct answer. Create a signed URL with a 4 hour expiration and share that URL with the external company. In the example I gave, Bank of America and Infosys. Infosys is the external company, just hypothetical. Now we will move to the next question. Okay, you are creating GKE, Kubernetes Engine cluster, with a cluster autoscaler feature enabled. That means if the load increases, autoscaling will happen. Now you need to make sure each node of the cluster will run a monitoring pod, which sends the monitoring metrics to a third-party monitoring solution. So first, understand the key requirements. We are in the GKE space. Autoscaling is enabled. We we are monitoring, and there is a third-party monitoring. We have to send the metrics. We have to send the metrics there. A is telling, let's deploy the monitoring pod in stateful set object. See, stateful, whenever you hear this, think about requirements for stable network identities or persistent storage. They are not suitable for running a pod on every node. This is a mismatch. Some people are born to play cricket. For example, God of cricket, Tendulkar. Now, if you tell them, boss, Tendulkar can also play football and at the same level like Ronaldo, not, it's a misfit. It is not correct. Similarly, here, this option is wrong. Now, next one is saying you deploy the monitoring pod in a daemon set object. Daemon. So, daemon set ensures a pod runs on all nodes of a cluster. See, daemon always remember, see, this is like we have to put agents for monitoring. So, for such requirements, agents and daemons are useful and it perfectly matches the requirements because this is born for this purpose. Ferrari is born for racing. It's a high-end sports car. You can use it for racing. But Maruti Alto or Maruti any car is not born for racing. Just like Facebook, Google are companies which are born to be good paymasters. But Infosys, TCS are companies which are born to be known as bad paymasters. And that is how it works. Now we are talking about option C. They are telling boss we will reference the monitoring pod in a deployment object. So deployments create a specified number of pods. Deployments create this and manage their life cycle. They don't guarantee that a pod will run on every node. So deployments don't guarantee per node pods. That's why this is wrong. See reference option D is saying reference the monitoring pod in a cluster initializer at the GKE cluster creation time. See, this initializer is an old feature. Now Google does not recommend it. First step. They are telling us use Demon set. That is most recommended. Why Google says it? Because initializers are very complex to manage. It was very complex to manage. So Google introduced daemon set. They are telling us now you use this. Okay, now use this. That is what they are telling. It's like going to shops in the morning to buy vegetables. It's complex. Is your will you be always staying in line with senior citizens? Because senior citizens like going in the morning and buying vegetables. And if you go around 7:30 a.m. in the morning in India, I'm talking about. So local shops, all senior citizens will be there. Their faces will be very happy seeing green vegetables, and they will be very happy bargaining and getting a good deal on those vegetables. So, do you want to spend your time? Young people should not waste their time sitting in the queues to get billed, those things. Because old people or senior citizens, they move slow. Nothing wrong with that. But their world is different. You don't get in their world. So plan out things at some other time. Or the best thing is, so that's why I'm saying that is a complex way of doing. That is a complex way of doing, just like initializers. So what is the modern way? We use Blinkit or Instamart, something of that sort. You may pay some delivery charges slightly, but you know that it is worth 30 rupees spending is worth than your is it more than your time? Like if you spend 45 minutes going and bringing the vegetables, you think about that. So this is the explanation of daemon set. Daemon set are specifically designed to ensure a pod runs on every node. Kubernetes per node monitoring is that this is a perfect solution and this is a standard practice Google recommends. So our answer is option B. Deploy the monitoring pod in a daemon set object. See, some rule. Whenever you see this containing metrics, we think about agent or daemon. Agent or daemon. Always think about that. Because if you are not yet subscribed, do so. 1,000+ videos on entry level, intermediate, and advanced certifications. On which cloud products? AWS, Azure, GCP. Why not other clouds? We do only what is hot in the market. There are a lot of questions for cloud kernel members. Take this members. So this is the end of part 11. We will post more parts. I hope you understood the concept. The key is to clear the certification plus also being able to work on projects. That is why concepts are the key. Otherwise, you are just rectifying the answers. You cannot clear an interview for a project or changing employers. You cannot do that because the concepts are weak. You will get broke in the questions answer session in the interview. So do not go through that process. This is a channel which is helping you build the necessary skills and concepts. So please focus on that. Stay tuned. We will post many more such parts.